Okay, so good evening everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. So I'm Sandi Mayes, and I'm going to be speaking to you about clairvoyant mediumship.
And I'm Mike Mayes, and I'm going to be talking to you about deep energy stroke trance healing.
Okay, so just to start with, to make you aware that this seminar is being recorded. So if we have any technical issues, you will be able to get a copy of the recording from Illuminations afterwards. Also, we will take questions at the end. And I would ask you at the moment if you could all mute your microphones for the time being. Would that be all right? If you could just mute them. Mute them.
Okay.
You could mute them. Thank you. So I'm going to start by talking about clairvoyant mediumship. So there are some questions about this. What is it? What does it mean? How does it work? And what would be the benefits for you if you had a reading? So some of you may have had a reading before, some of you may not. I need to tell you that all mediums are different. We all have different techniques, different ways of doing things. But I'm just going to talk you through my way. But I do want you to understand exactly what it is that I do. So I'm going to start by telling you what I don't do. So contrary to some impressions that people get, I do not have a crystal ball. That is not how I work. I work with energy. I work with your energy field. So I don't know forgive me if I'm preaching to the converted, but you do all have an energy field. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is a picture of Mike's energy field, which was taken with a Clairvoyant camera on a laptop system. So that's just the evidence that we do have an energy field. And this energy field is attached to your physical body at 7 energy centers called chakras. So I just want to show you a diagram. So I hope you can see this. Let's have a little look. Okay, so every human being has an energy field around them, and that's fastened with the 7 chakras. And behind each chakra or energy system, energy center, is a large group of nerves. So anything that comes in through your energy goes into your chakras, into your nervous system, up to your brain, and causes an impression. So it's like you're a big radio receiver. You're picking up on these things at all times. So I'm sure you're familiar with that situation where when you meet another human being, you quite quickly get an impression of them. I like you, I don't like you, I'm comfortable, I'm not comfortable, or maybe it's a room, maybe it's a building. So hopefully you recognize these things. And that is happening because your energy field is blending with the energy field of the other person. And on that blend of energy there's an exchange of information. So your energy blending with somebody else's is picking up information from their energy field. It's going in through your chakras up to your brain through the nervous system, and it's creating an impression. So that is your subconscious psychic reading, which we are all capable of. You can all do what I do, actually. You may not believe it, you may, but you definitely can. So when I sit with someone in a reading to start the psychic bit, which is when I'm reading your energy, then I'm not going to wait for this to happen subconsciously. I'm going to go for it consciously. So as your energy blends with mine or mine blends with you, and because we're going to be online doing this, it's going to be through the vibration of your voice. I'm going to pick up information from your vibration that's going to come into my chakras, into my nervous system, up to my brain, and it's going to make me feel different. Now, I'm always checking in with myself. I'm sure you all ask other people a lot, how are you? And you usually get the same old answer. We do in England anyway. Well, I'm fine, I'm okay. It's all that kind of thing. In actual fact, how many people ask themselves? Well, I do. So I'm always understanding how I feel mentally, physically, emotionally. And as soon as I blend my energy with the vibration of your voice, then I can pick up different things. I'm made to feel different. And it's those differences that I shall talk about to you in the psychic part of the reading. Now, your energy field contains a lot of information about you, about your past, about your present, and about your future potential. Now, as I said before, all mediums are different, and I choose not to talk too much about your past. You were there when it happened. You don't need to tell me to tell you that. We can't change it, and so I leave it alone unless something in your past is affecting what's going on in your present, and then it becomes relevant. Now, in your present, I'm not interested in the daily detail of your life because that changes all the time. From minute to minute, one phone call, one text, one message from somewhere, and everything's gone different. And we know that particularly in the world at the moment because everything is different. What I'm interested in is how you deal with these things. How do you cope with it? How do you make choices and decisions? That's different for everyone, but it tends to be with that behavioral pattern, a pattern literally. And very often that is affected by what's happened in your past. And I will look at that and I will present that to you so we can have a look at how you're dealing with things. Are you able to make clear decisions, clear choices and move on smoothly? Or do you get stuck and go round and round in circles? Everybody's different. It's very individual to people. And that's what I like to have a look at and point out to you. Now, when I say things to you, you don't have to do any of it. There's too much, particularly in this country, where people say, oh, a medium told me I had to do this. Anything I say to you is just me reporting on what I observe. The choices always have to be yours. Now, when it comes to the future, it's always future potential. So when I'm picking up stuff in your energy field about what may be coming for you in the future, it is literally, I will tell you, it is probable that, it is likely that, you will have an opportunity to. I will never say to you, you will do this. Now, that's because you have free will. You have the great gift of free will. And that allows you to make your own choices. Because the choices we make today create our tomorrow. In this country, it's actually illegal to categorically tell the future. It's actually a law. We come under the Office of Fair Trading, which is a bit weird, but we do. And it is because it is fraudulent to do it because the choice has always got to be left with the individual. So that's the future potential section of what I find in your energy. I will also find in your energy your natural talents and abilities that you have been given for your life purpose. Now, we all came to this planet for a reason. We all said we would do something when we were here. The problem is that when we arrive, we don't remember. Something in our lives has got to trigger it off. But in our energy field, a bit like software in a computer or apps on a phone, is everything you need for your life purpose. I will find those things and I will tell you. However, it is your choice. If I say to you, this is why you came here, this is your purpose, it doesn't mean you have to change everything and suddenly do it. It means you can think about it and think, oh, that sounds interesting, or actually, I don't fancy that. And that's okay. That's absolutely all right. It always has to be about you. So that is about your life purpose. You may recognize it when I tell you. You may say, actually, I already knew that. It's whatever you choose to take out of it. So that's all coming because I'm blending with the energy of your voice and I'm picking up certain information. Now, I'm helped with that by two ladies in the spirit world who've chosen to help me with this. They will be joined by people of yours who have passed on from this physical existence. Because although they're there, they're still interested in us. They're a bit nosy, actually. They like to have a little look at things. And they will join my people, and I will hear things in my head like, ask this person that, tell them that, talk to them about this. So I will continue with that process until I become aware that one, maybe two of your people might like to make an appearance and be identified. Now, this is what we call the mediumistic part of a reading. This is when I bring the spirit world through. So how that happens is a spirit energy, which is what this is, will blend with my energy in the same way that my clients does, but it will make me feel different. And those differences will allow me to talk about that spirit person. So again, I'm not sure what you know about this, but a spirit person is the energy field of someone who's been here, had a physical life, the physical body has died, been disposed of, but the energy field is then released by the chakras back into the spirit world, but has all the same characteristics, memories, emotions, all its experiences. Everything is in the energy. So in other words, we are not our body. The body, this body of mine that you see, is my vehicle that carries my spirit through this lifetime. When this vehicle, this body, and I've finished with it, when the time is up, this will drop away and my energy will be released back to the spirit world with my character, everything about me. So when a spirit person blends with my energy, then I begin to know things about them. What they choose to tell me, perhaps how they passed on, where they lived, what they did for a living, what their hobbies were, perhaps a memory link with the client. It's whatever they choose to give me. And if they're doing their job properly and I'm giving the information to you, I'm waiting for you to say to me, I know who that is. So you are reunited with your loved one or your friend or whoever it is. And at that point, they can give their message and say why they've come. Often they have some advice, but that is just advice. Just as if they gave you advice in life, you might say thank you, but actually that's not for me. You can still do that. But what I'm aiming to do is prove to you there is no death beyond that of the physical body. Now, I just want to go back for a minute to the psychic part of the reading when I'm reading your energy. I will always ask my client, are there any areas of your life you would like me to look at in detail? So I'm not going to go delving around unless you ask me to. But say if you say to me, oh, could you look at my relationship? Then I will find the energy of your partner in your energy field. And I will know things about your partner. And I will also know how they interact with you, whether there's a match, whether there's any rubbing or discomfort between your energy and theirs, and I'll give you that information. It's the same with your career, it's the same with where you live. So this reading can be as in-depth as you want it to be. Going back to the spirit people, I need to tell you that we don't do requests with this. We don't call them in, we wait for them to turn up. So I will always say to you, is there someone in particular you wanted to come? And I'll say, okay, well, if you really think about them, it's like opening a door so they can come in and then I can receive them and give the information. But they have free will too. So we just have to wait and see who shows up. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, how is she picking up that information from the spirit world? Well, I'm sure you know, all of you, that you have your physical senses. You see, you hear, you smell things, you taste and you touch things, and that all is your physical senses. Well, you've actually got more than those because they all exist on a higher vibrational level, which is the clair senses, which is where clairvoyance or clear seeing comes in. So I actually have all five. It's not necessary, but I do. So I can see them, I can hear them. They give me smells, they give me tastes, they give me feelings through my clair senses. And that is what gives me the information that allows me to talk to you about what your spirit person wants you to know, so that you can say, oh, I know who that is. And that's how we identify them to you. So that's the complete, if you like, combination reading where I do the psychic and the mediumistic. It is possible to separate them out into the psychic or the clairvoyant, mediumistic. You may have chosen before you have an appointment with me which you want me to do. Or you may change your mind halfway through. It actually doesn't matter. I'll do whatever you want me to do in the session. So at the end of the session, you should know much more about yourself, what affects your behavior, who affects your behavior, what you can do about that, how things are with you if your career doesn't feel right. Hopefully I've pointed out to you why that would be. It's all clarification and direction for you, so you can choose yourself. We all need to be in the driving seat of our lives, not the passenger seat. And that comes from understanding ourselves and perhaps with some input from the spirit world. And it's a very natural process. If during a reading you don't feel comfortable with something, you can say, oh, I don't want that bit. That's fine. If the spirit world person comes from the spirit world and you realize it's somebody you don't want to communicate with, that's all right too. Just tell me. I'll explain it to them and we'll get another one. So hopefully this explains to you how it is. At the end, you will have a clear picture of your life purpose, why you're on this planet, why you feel certain things, and you will have a very clear indication of what your natural talents and abilities are. It's a very overall holistic picture of you in order to allow you to live this physical life more comfortably. So I hope all that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, I hope you've made some notes so you can come to me at the end and say, actually, what were you talking about? Tell me about that. What does that mean? That's absolutely fine. And that's what I'm here to do. So I hope now you'll be able to answer the questions about clairvoyant mediumship, of what it is, what it means, how it works, and what might it do for you. So now I'm going to hand over to Mike, who's going to tell you about his deep energy healing, and I'll come back for the questions towards the end of the seminar. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure you can hear us. The reason why we asked just to mute the microphones now a little bit is only because of the noisy backgrounds. Please, at the end of this, we turn them all on, and hopefully you'll have lots of questions for us. So that'd be really good. So I want to talk to you about healing and the sort of healing I do. There are many forms of healings in this world. All are fantastic, and most of them work with energy. Some work with spirit, some do other things, but most of them all work with energies. I work with energy an awful lot on a profoundly deep level. I don't know if you know about the word heal and what it means. Healing actually means to make whole, make better, make one, if you like, and that's what we're trying to do. And we can do that successfully with energy. There's lots of ways of how it works and everything else, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment. If you take the word heal, H-E-A-L, and you put a TH, you get health. You see what I mean? So it's big. It's really big. Okay. So we talked about, Sandi talked about the energy field, and I want to also show you about this again. My little stick man. This is obviously, again, the energy field and your chakras. But what's happening is everyday bombardment of life, everything that happens to us comes into our energy field and really bombards us. It makes this energy field shrink. You know, like sometimes it could be anything. It could be a phone call that's really upsetting, and you feel it straight away like that, and it makes that energy field shrink. And that energy field will not go back properly until you can understand or have some healing and make it happen yourself, because it sort of stays disjointed for a little while. So that's what the healing does. The healing actually puts it back together. And as you can see as well, with this bombardment, you have all your senses here, your eyes, your ears, your smell, your touch, your feeling. This bombardment is not just coming into your energy field, but it's coming in from all these senses. Yes. So take it from your eyes, for example. What you see can be quite disruptive. It can be really beautiful, whatever it is. Say you see something that's on the news or somewhere, especially in today's world, which isn't very nice. So your eyes take it in through the optic nerve, and it goes up through the chakras into your brain and gives you this impression, and it really makes your energy shrink, and it makes you feel so bad. Again, on the other side, you can look at something really nice, a flower, lovely sunny day when you wake up in the morning, whatever it is, and that can make you feel really good. So that can replenish your energy field and make you feel okay. For most of us, this everyday bombardment of life and everything that comes into us tends to shrink our energy field and upset us, because it's not just about, I mean, this is great because we can talk to you on the video here, and it's lovely. This is a positive effect it's having on you, but in a lot of cases with the bombardment of life of internet, even this, if it goes down, hopefully it won't, and all sorts of other things, and mobile phones, and people sometimes are not aware of what they're actually looking at and what they're actually seeing and how it is and the effects on them. So this can, again, make your energy field shrink. Okay. So again, we look at this and we look at the chakras, your 7 major chakra points. And again, bombardment is coming in to the, get rid of this, hang on, I've got something here that I've got to get rid of. Hang on 1 second, go away. Again, your chakras. So everyday bombardment of life's coming into your chakras and having a big effect on each and every one of these chakras. Has an effect and does something to you. So like your solar plexus, it's a panicky, that sort of thing. Your heart chakra, your throat chakra, where you can't express yourself properly. So all these chakras have different jobs to do. So again, bombardment of that unbalances the chakras, makes them off color, because each chakra's got a color. So that's where the expression off color comes from, because it's out of balance. Okay, so healing puts that back together again. Healing helps with the chakras and it helps with the energy field. Okay, so results of all this, okay, so you've got bombardment coming through your energy field, you've got bombardment coming through your chakras, it goes through the nervous system up to the brain. Okay, so the poor brain is also the one that's going to be affected, because it's not only emotional, physical, it's also a mental level. So your brain is working overtime. For most of us, we're sky high. We're all over the place. Our brains are going mad. So I'd just like you to show you this little thing here, that hopefully you can see it. I think it's the right way around for you. It's called the brain waves. And hopefully some of you have heard of the brain waves. There are 4 major brain waves, but there's lots of other brain waves as well. Again, we can measure this electronically. Your brain is an electrochemical organ, okay? And what it does is it produces, the cells and neurons sort of bash together and they produce electricity. Again, it's being measured. And what happens is this electricity is measured in the Hertz scale, but it's measured in pulses per second of electricity, okay? So all this bombardment, again, is really bashing these pulses in your brain. So it's not harmful because it's so light electricity, if you like, but it's still having an effect, and it's having an effect on our energy field. So again, if we can see this, we'll just go for the 2 at the moment. So the beta state is the top state. So this is how most people are most of the time. You've got to do this, they're pressured for this. Oh, so-and-so's rung me, this has happened, that's happened. So we're always thinking, we're doing our jobs, we're working, we are sometimes not thinking about other people or ourselves. So our brain is working overtime, if you like. So it's producing 13 to 60 pulses per second of electricity, okay? Which you may not think is good, but it's quite bad actually. The next state is the alpha state, and that is just literally where you can relax a bit more. It's not, you're still thinking, you're still working, you're still doing all your jobs, but you know what, you just feel quite calm about it. You know, like sometimes when you really like doing something, maybe you like gardening or whatever you like doing, you're still concentrating on what you're doing in the garden, but at the same time, your mind's really still, so you're relaxing. And that goes down from 13 to 60 to 7 to 13 pulses per second of electricity. That's quite a lot, isn't it? So you can imagine how that is. And obviously then there's the 2, the theta state and the delta state, which is the sleep states. So ideally, that's nice when you want to go to sleep. So you need to get back into that sleep state, and this is how this works. Okay. So what is it? What is this deep energy healing? Well, it's a way I do it. Deep energy, some people call it trance healing. I like deep energy because it's nice, because some people think trance word is a little bit like, I'm going to put you into a trance-like state, which I'm not, of course, it's me. Okay, so what it is, it's a non-invasive therapy, okay, which mentally, physically, emotionally, and energetically relaxes, reconditions, repairs, rejuvenates on a very profound level. Okay, so what happens? How does it work? Happens during a session? What is it? Okay, so what happens is I put myself, only me, into this deep meditative state. This brainwave state, if you like, I come right down. So a trance-like state. So what it means is I'm not aware of the consciousness around me. I'm not aware then of thoughts in my head. I'm not aware of the outside, if you like, world. And what that does is, because Sandi talks, we all vibrate roughly the same because we've got these bodies. Energy vibrates high, fine and fast. So it's no physical body, if you like. So by putting myself into this deep meditative state, it allows my vibrations to raise and I can match the energies. So if my body's going like this normally when I'm like this and the energy's going like that, we can match together. So I can tap into the universal energies and the spirit energy and allow my body to be a conduit to do the healing. And that's why it's quite powerful, because it's not me, if you like. I'm just a conduit to do that healing. And what happens is the healing comes through my hands, into the chakras, into my chakras, okay, if you like, through my system. And then I'll give that to you, and it goes through to your chakra system, through the crown chakra at the start, and then right through the whole of the body and your energy field. And what it does then is it rejuvenates everything and repairs everything again. What happens after a while with the client, my client, will either be sitting or laying, whichever they prefer. We can't do it here, but sometimes if you was a one-to-one, it can be hands-on or hands-off, and hands-on would only be around the head area anyway, so that's not a problem at all. But what happens is you're laid down very comfortably, or you're sat in a chair very comfortably. If you wish to meditate, that's fine. If you wish to sleep, if you like, that's absolutely fine as well, because I will be in this meditative state anyway. And it's just so relaxing for you. Really is powerful and relaxing. You may feel warmth. Some people feel a lot of warmth, especially from the hands. Some people see colors. Some people can feel the energy flowing through them, but it's really non-invasive and very, very nice for you. After a little while, when I will gradually bring you back round again, I get to know, when I'm coming out of that state, where the energy's going. So where the blockages are in you, if you like. And that could be, again, anything to do with your life, not the intimate details, more about where you are in your life, what's happened. And this is what's called the energy reading, from that, the healing energy reading. It's a psychic sort of reading, and I can say, okay, so I feel that the energy was going this way, and that means this, and that means that. A lot of the energy for me is symbolic, a lot of the reading, but I will turn that into layman's terms and talk to you about how I feel the energy is. And it's about how you're managing it as well. Because for some people, they can't, or it's difficult to be able to manage certain things in your life, what's going on at the moment, but the healing will get to that. It will find it. It will not only rejuvenate it and help it, but it'll also, I'll be able to give you the knowledge, if you like, to be able to say, okay, I'd like you to do this. And what about if you did this? And how about if you try that? So at the end of the day, it's you managing your life. It's me giving you the wherewithal, if you like. It's me giving you the knowledge to be able to say to yourselves, if I did that a different way, or if I tried this, that's going to make my life so much better. After this treatment, you will probably find there's a lot of things that would happen to you with a lot of success with this. And a lot of people say, well, it's, I felt this, I felt really more comfortable. I felt more relaxed. I was able to look after myself more in life. I was able to deal with certain situations in my life. I felt less tired, more energetic. I felt so much better within myself. And sometimes this doesn't happen automatically, straight away. Sometimes it does. And sometimes after about a week, people notice the difference. Because also, they're empowering themselves. So I'm giving you something to empower yourself. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. If you wish to turn on your microphones and talk to us about anything you like about what we've said, that'd be really, really good.
Right, shall we sit down?
So we can sit down.
We can sit down. We'll talk to them all.
Yeah. Is that all right?
I don't know. So if you want to unmute your microphones, and we'll take questions now. So do we have any? Has our microphone all right?
As is, hopefully.
Okay, we need to do this.
Gallery view.
Okay, so
Okay.
we can't
Hello.
see a lot of you, but if you
Have you unmuted your microphones?
Hello, I've got a question for Sandi.
okay, Fleur.
Thank you both for that lovely talk and the information. It was really wonderful. Thank you.
That was our pleasure.
I want to ask you two questions, actually. The first one is, you said that when you're kind of reading the energy from spirit, and it contains the personality and everything of the person.
Yes.
You didn't talk about this, but it's just something that I've come across, is the concept of the soul continuum, of a soul leaving a body and then perhaps returning in a later time to a new person. I don't know if that is part of your
I can talk
belief
to you
system
about
and
that.
stuff, but kind of what I wanted to ask is, can you still read the energy of somebody if their soul has returned?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Fleur. So just to clarify, you're talking about past lives and you're talking about coming back again. The past lives, I might be given evidence to prove that happens. In terms of coming back here, I personally totally believe we do. But I can't actually prove that to you. I can prove that life goes on in the spirit world by identifying people. But just to emphasize, I can't actually prove that we choose to reincarnate. I believe it, but I can't prove it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're asking about if somebody in the spirit world of yours has already chosen to come back, can I still get in touch with them?
Yes, as who they were.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because all of us on this planet, with our energy fields, we have left pretty well 25% in the spirit world. And that's what some people in Europe anyway, we call it the higher self. And that is still in the spirit world. So if, let's take an example, I'll just make this up. If your grandmother has chosen to reincarnate, that 25% will actually give me information that I can give to you. So, yep, we can communicate with her.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that answers my question beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, somebody else. Any other questions?
Yeah, if we study this energy level things, for which type of illness can we cure?
Inner stillness. So, would we want to cure inner stillness?
No, I think he means inner illness.
Illness. Okay,
Which
sorry.
type of illness?
Inner illness. All right, that's a question from Mike.
Well, you know, inner illness is everything that happens to us, and we do get ill. A lot of it is to do with our energies and how we feel about our energies and how we manage our energy. Excuse me. Sometimes we tend to be a bit negative in this world. Excuse me. People tend to be a bit negative, and they tend to maybe, they don't realise they're doing it, but by being negative, we're sort of instilling this ourselves. Does that make sense? We bring this effect on, so our energy field gets very, very low, and our vibrations get very low. And if this is allowed to manifest an awful lot, then illness does happen. Sometimes it does happen. So the best, realistically, way is, I would teach, and which I do with this as well, is self-empowerment. self-healing, which I give you in my actual healing sessions, so that you can manage this and you can help yourself and your vibrations to carry on repairing themselves, thus making the vibration higher and lessening the illness. So people do get better from this, because it's giving them the way to help themselves. Because most of us don't know how to help ourselves. We know how to help other people, but we don't look after ourselves. Does that make sense? So this is how this works. We can all empower ourselves, and we can all look after ourselves, and we can all look after our energy field. And you can, if you wish.
So does that make sense?
Hello.
Hello.
This is Madeha. I just have.
Hello, Madeha.
It's great to see what you are doing here online, and it's just so amazing to learn. I just have like 2 quick questions. One of them is that I am practicing Reiki, the energy healing, and I've recently started it. It's been like 30 days. Again, coming to your spirit thing, I've been noticing while I do this Reiki on myself, I see people from my past who've left this world coming to me, giving me things, giving me like, guidance or something. Yeah, so I just want you to reflect, both of you to reflect on this as well. And Reiki had made me feel calm and relaxed and composed, and I'm just so new to it. So yeah.
Well, welcome to the wonderful world of Reiki. And
Thank you.
it is when you receive Reiki or you give it, it has an effect on your energy, which calms it down, relaxes it. That gives the spirit world a lot of opportunity to come close to you, because you're not engaging with the physical world, you are in another space. So they can come in, they can make themselves known to you in a very kind and loving way, which is what is happening. Is that your experience?
Yeah, it's like they're really kind and compassionate towards me, offering me things and gifts, and it's just so beautiful.
What Reiki does, it clears the whole, good. It is, and Mike and I are Reiki masters, so Mike's going to be doing Reiki online for Illuminations as well. It will clear out your energy system. You will feel different. You will feel empowered. And I say, welcome to the wonderful world of Reiki. Does that answer your question?
Well, yes, it does. When you were talking about knowing about spirits coming to you and all, so it's clear that now I get it.
Well, Reiki was the beginning of my journey. That's how I started. I started with Reiki first.
Wow.
And then gradually I became aware of spirit, and then gradually I knew that I wanted to work with spirit, and then suddenly I found I could. So that was one of my natural talents and abilities that came out. So I wish you luck with it.
Thank you so much.
That's all right. So another question from someone?
Yes, I want to ask a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's Sal. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Salwa?
My name is Salwa.
Oh, got it right. Okay.
You got it right. So I actually wanted to ask you earlier, when you were discussing the clairvoyance, you actually mentioned that you have your own guides, but that will at one point meet our own guides, because everyone has them, or everyone would have them. And actually, this is where I'm curious about, like, how can we connect? Is there a way to connect with our own guides? I don't know, me personally, I feel like I can see sometimes things that end up happening, especially my dreams are very vivid and end up actually happening even to people that I don't really, I'm not that close to. And I'm trying to see if maybe I have this guy that maybe at one point I did meet, but how can I connect? Would you be able to help in that?
Yes, I certainly can. In a one-on-one session, I can practically help you with that. But in this session, I can just generally say every single person on this planet has a guide. We have many guides, actually. They are allocated for different purposes. We all have a guardian angel of eternity. We have a guardian angel of this lifetime. The guides are a little more practical. So they are probably people who have, perhaps of yours, that have passed on, that have chosen to come and help, but they're all there for a reason, to do with what we do on this planet. So for me, I have the usual kind of guides, but I also have them for my profession. So all mediums have what's called the doorkeeper. So my doorkeepers, Mike calls him the bouncer. He keeps them all under control. So I don't want, if I'm working with you, I don't want 20 of your people trying to talk to me, because I'm not going to hear any of them properly. So my rule is one at a time. So my doorkeeper is there to say, okay, it's your turn, you can talk to her now. And when that one's finished, he brings in the next one. So that's the doorkeeper guide role. I happen to know who my doorkeeper is, but it wouldn't matter if I didn't. I know I've got one. So the first rule is trust that you have guides, and just talk to them. Know they're there and talk to them. But you need to talk to them from a quiet space. So do you meditate?
Do I meditate? Yes.
Yeah, so that's in your meditative state is when you are at your clearest. So your worldly rubbish is being pushed to one side for a minute, the clutter's gone. Then they can get through to you more easily. Sit in that space and in your mind communicate with them. And that's all you have to do. It's that simple.
Okay.
Does it, do you want to ask another question on that?
No, I think I got it clear, because yes, I think I try to connect, especially when it comes to meditation. I do feel that I have this, I don't know, ability to feel things or see things, but I'm not the ability yet to really recognize the spirit guide, or maybe personalize it or identify them. And I don't know if it's mainly in my dreams or I can connect at any point. So
it doesn't matter if you don't identify them. It matters that you trust that they're there. Now, dreams are a different matter. If you have a dream and you wake up in the morning and you clearly remember something from that dream, usually that's important. I get that a lot. If I've got to do something, they want to get me to do something, they want to inspire me, I wake up in the morning remembering a section of a dream. And then I know I've got to do something with it. So we used to run a retreat center in England, and I didn't know what to call it. And I was like, oh, don't know. And then one night I had this dream about rainbows, and I woke up in the morning and I clearly knew I had to call it Rainbow's End.
Yeah.
And that's the name of our charity. So dreams are useful. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Claire Beach put her hand up, but just before she speaks, I'd just like to say somebody sent a message, and I think this might be relevant to all of you. I won't say who it was. Just asked about energy. Can it be done from a distance? And the answer to that is yes. I know I've put about healing, and same with clairvoyance. It's the same whether it's one-to-one or whether it's on Skype call or Zoom call or WebEx or whatever. Energy has no time, no space, no barrier. So we just need to think about that person or listen to that person in Sandi's case to get the vibration of the voice. And it's exactly the same. It will go to where it needs to go to. Okay, so maybe you need to know it. Fleur, thank you.
Hi, thank you. I really loved hearing a little bit in that answer from Sandi about how she came to connect with these abilities and to hone them and all that. And I'd really like to know from you, Mike, how did you come to know about your healing?
Okay. I think I've known ever since I was a child. I just knew I had to sort of, I don't know, try and help the world. I don't know what it was, but I really knew from a long time ago. I was very sensitive as a child, really sensitive. And it took quite a while because obviously we go through different things in our lives, sort of, I don't know, a little bit of bullying at school, whatever it is, and because I was different, if that makes sense. And then I went through different jobs in my life, and there was one particular stage and one particular job I was in, and I just used to see things in people. I was what they call a seer, and I used to see it, not quite illnesses, but how people were, and well, sometimes illnesses.
Tell me about your sister.
Well,
when you said no, I'm the one that died.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example. I saw my sister. She'd been dead several years now. She died when she was 56, quite early. And I went to see her in hospital because she just kept fainting on whatever it was. And when I went to the hospital, I lived a long way from her. And I got to her and I saw her sitting up in bed talking to everyone else. And I was at the top of the corridor there. And I just knew straight away that she had leukemia. So I spoke to the doctor and told her what was wrong. And I told her the specific type of leukemia. And he dismissed me. I don't know who you are, but we tested for all cancers. No, you're completely wrong. I'm telling you, she's got it. And he wouldn't take any notice of me anyway. So I spoke to my sister and everything was fine. And I went home that night. 6 o'clock that night, I got a phone call. This special type of leukemia that she got. So I knew it and I could see it. And it doesn't matter. So what happened in the end was this wasn't good for me because it wasn't good for my energy and I don't want to do this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I went to the special college called the Arthur Findlay College. I don't know if you've heard it. And learned how to do this healing properly. So it wasn't draining my energy. It wasn't affecting me. It was also helping other people. And I managed it properly. And that's how it started from.
Can I ask one more thing? Sorry, just on a follow-up question. Do you think that instant knowing for your sister was because you are close to her and you're related to her? Or would you be able to do that? Would you be able to walk in?
No, I've done it for other people as well. It's just the fact that was actually giving me a little kick up the backside because I wasn't doing anything much with my healing. And I know I should have been. And I think this was the one thing to say, come on, if you're going to do this, you need to do it properly. So, yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you for the questions, Fleur. Yeah, I think we have somebody, forgive
Two participants raised their hands. So.
I can't pronounce it. Kushbacht.
Yeah.
Hi. I have a question about spirit guides. I've never really understood how and why we have spirit guides. I mean, what do they get in return for helping out?
All right, so this is going back to the energy field. When we arrive in this world, our energy field the vibrations are at a certain level, and everything we do in this world either makes them heavier or lighter. So a good deed makes them lighter, a bad deed makes them heavier. It's like debits and credits in your bank account. So personally, I don't want to go back with an overdraft, so I'm trying to do more good things. When you get into the spirit world, that process goes on. Your vibrations continue to raise. You're always refining. So it's the same for them. If they help, and they all want to help, which is why they want to communicate through people like me, then that helps them by helping you. If somebody is a guide, it means they are quite high in vibration anyway. And they know a lot more than we do. We only see, most of us, this life that we're in from birth to the unknown time of death. They see the bigger picture, and they are allowed to give us certain guidance. And guidance is exactly that. If you go on a tour and the guide says, oh, look, there's the Eiffel Tower, you don't have to go up it. You just think, oh yeah, thanks very much, that's nice. That was a bit of guidance. So the guides can only guide. But they just try and help our life journey a little bit, make it a bit more comfortable if they can. The spirit world feel very sorry for us on this planet. It's probably the heaviest place in the universe to be. So they kind of think, oh, we've got to give them a hand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's all right. So, and somebody else had their hand.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. So once again, I just want to know, can we consider Reiki as a part of meditation as well? So if I say that I meditate and I do Reiki, it means the same thing, is it?
No, not really.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm not being judgmental of you, but it's easy to mix them up. We are all natural healers. We have that instinct within us. But when we have our Reiki attunements, it clears our energy channels out. So we're better able to channel the healing energy of the universe to our patients, our clients. When we meditate, what we're doing is we are removing our reality from the physical world into our inner world. So we are starting to just be rather than do. Just remember, we're human beings, not human doings. So by meditating, we are calming everything down and stopping the outside world coming in. Now, anybody can do that. Now, obviously, a Reiki healer is going to have that added advantage of the clear channels, but it doesn't follow that the two go together. So you don't have to have Reiki in order to do that. Anybody can meditate. Anybody can lay their hands on someone to try and make them feel better, but the Reiki attunements are going to make that more powerful. So just touching on Reiki a minute, seeing as you've brought it up, Mike mentioned in his talk about the deep energy healing, about his form of healing being like a major service on your car. I don't know how you do it out there, but we have in England interim services. So they come in between. So one year you'd have the full service, the next year you'd have the interim. So Reiki is a bit more of an interim form of healing, if you like. It's lighter and it's much easier to learn. So here in England, Reiki takes 3 weekends to learn it completely because it's so simple. Mike's form of healing, he went to college off and on for 9 years to obtain that deep form of meditation that he does. So does that answer your question?
So it is not a form of meditation. So I need to start a separate meditation along with Reiki, is it?
It's much better to meditate daily in whatever time you've got. It's Reiki is giving the healing either to yourself or to family members or to clients, or friends. If you decide to go to clients, that's what it is. Meditation is so good for the human race, and I recommend 5 minutes twice a day as a minimum. I do have an MP3, so anybody who wants this MP3 of mine, there's no charge. It's a recording of my voice doing a 5-minute technique. If you contact Illuminations, I will make sure that they have access to that to send it to you. So you can try it for yourself. But it is separate. Reiki is not a meditation. It is a form of healing or making better.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes,
okay.
It does answer the question.
Good. Have we got somebody?
We got Ifat.
Hello.
We've got 4 minutes.
Oh,
hello.
Ifat.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, this is Ifat.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
My name is Urmila.
We got someone else. Okay.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. We can hear you.
Yeah. My name is Urmila, and I want to thank you both for this beautiful webinar. I have a question for Sandi. I have frequent, a restless leg, as in the right leg feels very restless. And this has been going on for last 1.5 years. And off and on, the restlessness will appear and then it goes off on its own. So I want to understand what exactly is the message there? Why is it happening?
Okay, I can actually answer that personally because I experience the same thing.
I see. Okay.
If I don't look after myself, if I allow myself to get too tired, fatigued, if I don't take time for my own healing, my own meditation, I get exactly that. It's very annoying. Very annoying.
Yeah, it's very
But I'll tell you what the
annoying.
best thing is for it. First of all, you want to do as an ongoing practice the little bits of meditation, not great big ones led by somebody else, just you sitting and being. And I have to tell you that the very best cure I have is my husband, because he will give me a bit of deep energy healing and that's it, finish, it's gone. I had it the other day and I just said, oh, I don't know, I'm so twitchy tonight, just give me a bit of healing. Well, I was asleep in 5 minutes, it was done.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's an energetic thing, but it is based on our own tiredness and weariness.
I see.
So
okay.
I think we can take, all right, so
take one more. Ifat,
and then be the last one and then I'll say something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you so much. I just want to know, I'm just doing Reiki like past 10 years. I have done like level 1 and level 2, but sometimes, I feel like, am I connected? Like, I'm not sure, or what is it like? Can you help me in that?
Yes, I can. I used to feel the same as you when I started. I used to think, I'm not doing anything here. I'm just putting my hands on this person. I don't feel anything, a bit of warmth in my hands, and that's all. I can't be doing anything. But gradually over the years, I've learned that to trust the energy And then clients will say to me, or friends will say, I feel so much better for that. I feel calmer. I feel whatever I feel. And sometimes when I do it now, I still think, I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, well, what am I doing? I'm just putting my hands on here. But then that person will get up at the end and they'll tell me what they felt and what happened.
Yeah.
And then I'm a bit cross with myself for not trusting.
Yeah.
Because as humans, we tend to put ourselves down a bit, but we have far more power than we actually recognize. Does that help?
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we haven't done one of these seminars before, but I know we're out of time. I'm not sure how strict this is. But if we're going to go through, we will answer you on the written chat. And if we haven't spoken to all of you, I'm sorry. We do have for the rest of April, we are offering some 20-minute taster sessions online, free. So if you want to book in for one of those, we can carry on communicating with you. Or you can book full sessions with us all through Illuminations. We're doing that every day except Wednesdays for the rest of April. And then in May, we go on to our regular schedule, which will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Illuminations will know the hours. We're still getting used to the time difference between you and us. So thank you so much, all of you, for coming. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. Sorry we haven't got longer, but we will get on to all your questions on the group chat and send you written answers. Okay. So thank you, and have a lovely evening, and look after yourselves. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't immediately delete the chat.